The purpose of this exercise is to show you how to make the model, how to make the structural model, and how to examine the structural model in AMOS. So first of all, I would like to change the page. You can go to the view, interface properties, and for a structural equation model, I always prefer to click on landscape legal. So landscape legal is one of the option which is very good option suited for structural equation modeling. After that, you can see that all the white space is like horizontal. We can make the structural equation model very comfortably in this area. After that, I again go to the view interface properties, and there is an option called miscellaneous. If you click on the miscellaneous, you can decide your decimal place and all, but I want to uncheck this because if in SPSS you are having a long statements, so that long statement create problem many times. So I used to uncheck this also and apply. After that, now my framework is ready. Then I'm attaching the data. You can see this is the 8th icon of the first column, which is used to attach the data. So click on the file name, and I am going to add this training data. Okay, and after attaching the data, you can see the variables here. If you click on it, all the variables you can see here. So let me move to this area. Yeah, here these are the different items, and the AS is construct number 1, BS is construct number 2. Like these are the item codes of different constructs. And after that, I want to make the structural model. So I just make first model, first construct, manage this construct so that I can copy it to the 5. So basically we always start with one construct and make some changes in it. You can change the shape, make the construct so that it will be easily fit in the white page. Yeah, so this is construct number 1, and I can copy 5 construct like this. So we are having this icon called duplicate objects, and I am okay. So I am making 5 copies. Yeah. So make some adjustment, like I want to rotate it to this. I want to rotate to the down. Yeah. After that, I am adding this one-sided arrow, which is for hypothesis testing. These arrows are for hypothesis testing. These are one-sided arrows. Okay, you can take this pencil to beautify the diagram. After that, any construct which is having the tip of the arrow must have the error terms. So this error term is coming from here. This point is new to you, so kindly see. This is the icon, and we used to click on the endogenous construct where tip of the arrow is there. So any construct where this tip of the arrow is there, you have to attach the error terms. After that, my diagram is almost full. I have to send the name the variables and name the constructs. So for the naming, I am going to the plugin. You can see the plugin option here, and in the plugin, just click on name unobserved variables. If you click on name unobserved variables, you can see the array terms are filled and the constructs are also filled. But we can change the name of the construct because we know exactly what is the name of the construct. So for example, this construct is known as management efforts. Then this construct is the management the selection criteria. Selection criteria, and I should increase the size of the this one so that you can see clearly. F3 is training quality. This is training quality. This is employee improvement. And this construct is organization productivity. Organization productivity. So after that, I have to change the shape because these are going outside. Let me change the increase this, manage the shape. So this is in our hand to increase this. This size is 25. This is also 25. Okay. After that, I do some like this, like this, like this. Yeah. So this is the kind of beautification I'm doing. Now my chart is looking beautiful, and the only thing which remains here is to, number one, add the double-sided arrows for correlations. This is compulsory according to the most of the reviewers of the journals. Now my diagram is complete. Yeah, no, the variables are not there. So let me add the variable names. Hardly it will take 1 minute. CS1. So now we are having the complete diagram, and the next is to analyze the analysis. So now we are moving to the analysis part. So you have to make practice to make these all the diagrams. It requires practice. And why I'm making again and again in front of you, so that you can see how I am doing all these things. Okay, yeah. So my diagram is ready. After that, I will go to this eighth icon. The name of this eighth icon is analyze properties. And in analyze properties, you can see that method we are applying is maximum likelihood method, assuming that the relationship are non-linear. And then we go to the output. We want to see standardized estimate. These are known as path coefficients. We want to see the R square, because R square is very important for structural equation model, because it examines the explanatory power of the model. After that, we can go for correlations, and then we can go for the test of normality and the outliers. So after clicking on all these things, I'm closing it. And now you cannot run without saving. So first of all, I have to save the diagram. So let me save the diagram in the same folder. It is called SAM in Amos. So after saving, I can run it. So for run, I have to click on the calculate estimates, and all these steps you know very well because you are doing practice from last 3 days. After this, you can see the red button is highlighted. It means my output is ready. So what to see in the output now? Let's see. If you click on this red button, all the values, path coefficients are coming here. So this is the path coefficient. Let me increase the size of it so that you can see it is 66, and this path coefficient is also 28. This path coefficient is 15. and this path coefficient is 46. Now you can change the path coefficient to the place where you want to keep it. Okay, this 15 is providing confusion, that let me keep here, and 46 I keep it here. So 28, 15, 46 are the path coefficients, and these are the correlations. So these values are the correlations. Okay, after that, let me go to the output. And in first of all, I have to check the normality. Uh, what I want here that skewness and kurtosis should be less than 0.5. If skewness and kurtosis are less than 0.5, it is excellent. But the minimum requirement is that skewness and kurtosis should be less than 1. So these two are the problems in the kurtosis. Ideally, they should be less than 0.5. You can check in your data set, if the skewness and kurtosis are less than 0.5, the multivariate normality condition is fulfilled. So multivariate normality condition is measured by this Mardia coefficient of kurtosis. This Mardia coefficient of kurtosis is ideally should be less than 50. So if this Mardia coefficient kurtosis is less than 50, you can say that normality is there. 285 is quite high. And why this 285 is quite high? Because most of the skewness values, kurtosis values, are more than 0.5, like 0.868, 0.767, 0.958. So because the problem is that the moment our kurtosis value improves, the problem start coming. So you have to take care of this skewness and kurtosis. And actually the problem is that in 1 to 5 scale, you can see that the minimum value is 1 and maximum value is 5. So if you have the 5-point scale, this scale is creating problem in the kurtosis. So first bad hit or bad effect of 5-point scale is on the skewness and kurtosis. Okay, after that I go to the estimate. In estimate, the hypothesis testing is here. In this case, you can see that all the 4 hypotheses are significant. All the 4 hypotheses are significant. For example, management efforts is having a significant effect on employee improvement. The selection criteria is having a significant impact on the employee improvement. Training quality is also having significant impact on the improvement. Employee improvement is having significant effect on the productivity. So all the 4 hypotheses are proved. After that, I go to the standardized regression weight. Standardized regression weight are like this. If you compare all the standardized regression weight, we can say employee improvement is having the highest effect on the organization productivity, right? This is the highest, and second highest is training quality on the employee improvement. So training quality is having the second highest. So you have to report these figures, and after that we have to find out the R square. Correlation seems to be very high because all the correlation are good, but they should be less than 0.7. So this is a problem in the correlation. There is a problem in the correlations. Correlations are more than expected. And R square, after that we have to check the R square value. R square is organization productivity is explained by only 47%. Let me check this because there is some spelling mistakes also there. Okay. Now, in this case, if you see the results, one interesting thing I'm telling you, the R square of this dependent variable, you can see this is R square. R square, let me show you R square once again. This is a parameter, and this R square is how much? 48%, right? So you can see that this R square is 48%. 48%, and I'm telling you, in one of the university, there was an argument in the presentation. One of the panel members say that because your R square is less than 50%, so I'm going to reject your thesis. And scholars say that no, sir, 48% is very good R square. This is very good R square. This is very good R square. But the panel members say no, 48% is low, and you minimum R square you must have is 50%. Even I have seen these kind of fights in the presentations. So after that, I make one rule that the R square, if this R square is more than 50%, then the study is considered to be good. Otherwise, there are many people who can object the low R square values also. And you may not believe, after that, the scholar find out at least 10 papers where R square is less than 50%. But the most surprising thing we had in that during that, if you select any 100 papers, if you select any 100 papers based on SAM, in more than 90% of the papers, this R square is more than 50%. But there we also found some of the papers where this R square is less than 50%. But why to take controversy? So better, if R square is more than 50%, then it is good, right? So I think now you understand how much this R square is important in the structural equation modeling. Basically, we see the R square of the dependent construct. So organization productivity is one of the dependent construct, endogenous construct. So its R square is important. And the R square of employee improvement is 66%. We have no problem in it. It is quite better. Without it is no problem. 66 is not a problem. The problem is that when you have R square less than 50%, so you have to check this R square, which is one of the important concept in structural equation modeling. Let me go to the output again. After examining the whether the hypotheses are accepting or rejecting, so we are rejecting the null hypothesis in all the 4 cases. Then we can find out the impact, where it is high, where it is low. After that, we go to the correlations. Correlations are more than required. And the adjusted R square is 47%. It is a problem. 66% is fine. Then we go to the model fitness. And in model fitness, I'm telling you one by one. Number one value is C mean upon DF. Ideally, it should be less than 3. But if it is less than 5, it is just okay. Not bad, not good. So C mean upon DF should be less than 3. Ideally, it should be less than 3. But if it is less than 5, then okay. But GFI is very poor here. GFI less than 0.8 is not suitable. So GFI should not be less than 0.8. I have seen many papers where GFI is more than 0.8 is sufficient, but less than 0.8 is a problem. Similarly, AGFI less than 0.8 is a problem. Both of the values should be greater than 0.8. Similarly, the CFI value should not be less than 0.9. Now, with CFI, I am telling you very interesting story. There is a university, Indraprasth University in Delhi, and one of the scholar, and she was in the 7th year of the PhD, and she was presented the paper, thesis, and her thesis was rejected just because the CFI was less than 0.9. So you can imagine how these goodness of it play a very important role. Her thesis was rejected only because of the reason that CFI was less, right? So after that, she left the PhD, and now she is still trying to take admission in any other university. So after spending 7 years, her registration cancelled by the university, and the only problem is that the model was not having the goodness of it, right? So there are many interesting incidents I have seen in my life that because of CFI only the thesis was rejected. So this CFI should not be less than 0.9. Simple languages, in simple language I'm telling you. TLI should be greater than 0.9 and NFI should be greater than 0.8, so it is fine. And after that, with the last value we have checked is RMSEA, and the RMSEA should be less than 0.08. this RMSEA should be less than 0.08. So this is a problem. And actually, you may not, you may thinking that what is the problem of this high RMSEA? One of the problem of this high RMSEA, low CFI is actually the normality. The normality, because one of the kurtosis is very high, kurtosis is very high. So sometimes because of the absence of normality, you are having all these kind of problems. Another thing we have to check here is, but all the things are good because all construct loading are more than 0.7. So construct loading is not a problem here. The problem here is a 5-point scale and the problem of normality. So this is everything we should know about the structural equation model. Here we have one facility. I'm telling you that facility also we can improve the goodness of fit to some extent. So how we can do it? I'm showing you. Go to the this output. You are having an option called modification indices. So click on the modification indices and click on it. Run it again. Then go to the estimates modification indices. Now in modification indices, you can see that, okay, this error 26 and 27, error 26 and 27 are highly correlated, and any other correlation we can have. Um, yeah, so we have to check whether we can add this error number 27 and 26. But 26 and 27 are related to the different construct. We cannot add here. Okay, let me do this 40. So because I want only those changes where there is a significant improvement. And what is this meaning of 40? 40 means if you see the modification indices, uh, okay, this is the only recommendation that if you add 26 and 27, the chi-square value reduces by 82 and the parametric change is 0.223. So, but ideally we cannot join these two errors. So there is no possibility of modifying the model. So this model is fine, but not very good because the problem is in the goodness of it. So this is everything we can check in the structural equation model. And now I am showing you the process in